Good morning. I'm Jan Miner, and I'm a member of your parish committee here in First Parish in Wayland. We're glad you're here and online and in person in our beautiful sanctuary. Special welcome to visitors. I don't see too many here in person. Oh, we do. This is one. We are so happy to have visitors. We love visitors here at First Parish. And so we invite you to join us downstairs, or if you're online and visiting or been here for a few services in a row, there is a community time following the service that's both on chat and downstairs. Our mission is to build community, search for meaning, deepen our spirituality, and make a better world. If you have questions about First Parish, or Unitarian Universalism in general, someone from our membership team will be at the welcome table during the coffee hour, that's directly below us, to greet you and answer any questions. Rev Lisa and Kate Holland, our Director of Lifespan Education, are also available after the service and would love to meet you. A big thanks to all other service participants whose names are in the order of service. And please remember to silence your cell phones. Oh, I need to do that for our time together. Please join me now in taking a moment to say hello to each other here in the sanctuary and include a wave to our camera for those people who are online. A heartfelt welcome to all of you. Let us turn to Kate Holland, who has a last announcement for us before we begin.
Good morning. So I have an important question to ask. Who here likes spaghetti? There you go. Look at all those hands. Okay, second question for the morning. Who here, which is my personal favorite, likes to play bingo? Bingo. We're talking bingo here. So on Friday night, it is spaghetti and bingo night. And so we have spaghetti for gluten-free and gluten-filled spaghetti. We also have bingo. And who has ever been to bingo night before? Okay, so the prizes. How are the prizes at bingo night? Fun! And I guarantee that I have fabulous, fabulous bingo prizes. So we have something about bingo night that we want to make sure. So Tacos and Tunes had a lot of people. And we want to have a lot of people at this event. And you can do it by coming. And we want you to invite a friend. This is the best kind of event to invite a friend to. It's really a lot of fun. And it's always good to share with friends, right? So last year, to boost attendance to a movie we were doing, Reverend Deborah did tickets. And my friend Lynn has tickets. The tickets are free. And it does not have to, you don't have to take a ticket unless you're going to come, but I want you all to come. So if you need a ticket, raise your hand. You up in the choir loft, I would love to see some hands up there too. Oh my goodness, there we go. Luca, can you run up to the choir loft with the tickets? Lynn, can you give Luca? Okay, take them on up. There's hands up there. So now, I just need you to remember that when you have a ticket, you're going to do what? Come to bingo night! Fabulous prizes! Okay, so while we finish with our tickets, I'm going to invite Lynn and Ross Trimby to light our chalice.
Please join me in saying our covenant. With open minds and loving hearts, we gather to search for meaning, to care for one another, and to work together for a better world. This morning, we're lighting a special candle for the Lesbian Visibility Day. I have to admit, I'm a lesbian. I did not know we had a Visibility Day, but we do. It's actually been going on for about 15 years. The theme for this year's Lesbian Visibility Day is celebrating rainbow families. It's a global campaign spotlighting the families of LGBTQ+ women and non-binary people, giving us the platform to be understood and appreciated. The celebration's website says, at a time when progress on LGBTQIA+ rights globally feels fragile and rainbow families are under attack, we lift up our voices in joy and love, letting the world know that our families always have been here and always will be here. Thank you. Good morning again. My name is Rev Lisa Perry-Wood. I am the minister here at First Parish, and my pronouns are she and her. The theme for Earth Month 2025 is Our Power, Our Planet, emphasizing the importance of renewable energy with calls for action from individuals and communities to advocate for increased global clean energy use. It's our Earth, we're on it together, say the global organizers. There's just this one planet of ours, and it depends on us to ensure a future with a livable climate, healthy communities, and thriving nature. During Earth Month, on Earth Day, and every day, we're called to put our heads, hands, and hearts together and take action to preserve and protect the natural world for generations to come. Our active, proactive participation in this effort is needed now more than ever. This morning, we'll hear the words of lesbian poets who are also lovers of nature. This first one is Lynn Unger. I don't know how this all turns out, and neither do you, but I have to confess it doesn't look good. I wish we were headed for a picnic, for a waltz in the park. I wish we were not ruled by broken men who want to damage everything that they cannot possess. I wish I could tell you that what we do now. The street is littered with the petals of cherries that bloomed before the big wind came. Tonight there will be frost and tender buds will burn, but still the woods are unfolding into green And just outside my door, some frog is bellowing for all he's worth. Who knows what happens next? All I can tell you is that the fields are ablaze with dandelions who have never known the meaning of defeat. Come now, dear friends, into this sacred and beloved space we co-create each week, and let us worship together. And now please rise as you're willing and or able and join in singing hymn number 15 in the great hymnal, The Lone Wild Bird.
Good morning again. So this morning, I'm Kate Holland, the Director of Lifespan Education here at First Parish, and my pronouns are she and her. So this morning I'm here to share a story with you, although it feels like it's been a while since we've shared stories together. So my story today is about a young girl named Marcy. Marcy lived in an apartment in the city. And across the street from her was a building that was all boarded up and kind of run down. And it'd been there as long as she could remember. Well, the town decided the building needed to go. And so they all gathered in Marcy's apartment and looked through her window as a big wrecking ball came and knocked it down. And then trucks came and took away the parts of the apartment that was there. Well, it was really kind of sad looking, that lot that had nothing in it. Marcy thought it looked like a big set of teeth with a tooth missing right in the middle. Every time she passed the lot, it made her really sad. So finally spring comes and Mrs. Jones and Marcy take out their coffee cans. Every spring and summer, they filled them with dirt. They'd go to the hardware store and get 2 packets of seeds. And they'd put them out on their balconies, and they would grow beautiful gardens in just their coffee pots. Well, they needed dirt to fill in for those seeds in that coffee pot. And Marcy said, you know, there's dirt over in that nasty old lot. And so they went over and they started digging dirt into their coffee cans. And suddenly they looked at each other and they said, you know what? There's dirt here. And if we have seeds, maybe we could make it into a beautiful garden. Well, sitting on the stoop at the apartment next to the lot was Mr. Hammer. And old Mr. Hammer had lived there forever, and he said, you can't do that. And they were like, well, why can't we do that? The city owns that lot, and you can't do that. Well, that night, Marcy and her mom were having dinner, and she told her mom about what Mr. Hammer had said. And she said, you know, I remember a program that the city had where you can lease a piece of property that the city owns. So she said, let me look into it. Marcy's mom looked into it, and she found out they had to have signatures from neighbors saying that they thought this was a good idea to lease out that piece of property, and that there was a form they had to fill out, and they had to go to town hall. Well, they sent the form around to their neighbors, and they got tons of signatures, because everyone looked at that lot and said, there has to be something better. So they got their signatures, they filled their form, they went downtown, and they got the lease for the lot. So they quickly went over to the lot and they started pulling things out and trying to get the trash out of the area. And as they were doing that, people from the neighborhood kept walking by and they said, what are you guys doing? Well, we're gonna empty out this lot and make a garden, they said. So they all of a sudden, the neighbor said, you know what? I have a little bit of time. Why don't I help you do it? And with so many hands, it was great. It started to get done quickly. People even brought lunch for the people that were working together. And so little by little, people brought pieces of wood that could be into a fence. They brought little boards and things to mark off where there were beds for the seeds and things. And so soon, this old lot that used to be yucky and hard to walk by became a beautiful, beautiful place. Well, neighbors had ideas. Let's grow flowers there. Let's grow carrots. Let's grow tomatoes, my favorite. And so they all worked together and planted things in the different spots. But one night, looking out her window, Marcy saw Old Man Hammer go into a corner, and he looked like he was throwing down something, and he kicked dirt over it, and he patted it down. The next day, Marcy said to him, what were you doing over there? And he grumped and didn't say anything. And as the flowers in the plots grew, that little spot where Mr. Hammer had used his seeds started to grow. And so she grabbed him and said, look, you have to come see. And as the summer went by in that plot, there was beautiful sunflowers that came up. And they sat on the bench together, Marcy and Mr. Hammer. And he looked over at her and he said, my wife's favorite flowers were sunflowers. So the story, I think, really holds up how we as a community and as a group of people can come together and make differences on how nature and things are taken care of in our world. And I love that it was a young girl that kind of sounded the bell and said, look, we need to take care of this and take better care of our world. So now I'm going to invite my friends to go to Seek class, and I'm going to invite all of you to sing us out, singing Gaudeamus Odie.
The offering we give each week is a symbol of our commitment to this faith community and the life and works of our congregation. Instructions in how to donate online are in the order of service. If you are here for the first time, please let the plate pass you by. You are our guest. This morning we share our plate with World Central Kitchen. World Central Kitchen responds to natural disasters, man-made crises, and humanitarian emergencies around the world. A team of food-first responders, mobilizing with the urgency of how to get meals to the people who need them most. Deploying their model of quick action, leveraging local resources, and adapting in real time, they know that a nourishing meal in a time of crisis is so much more than a plate of food. It's hope, it's dignity, and it's a sign that someone cares. Currently, World Central Kitchen is supporting Palestinians displaced from Gaza, as well as those impacted by natural disasters in Myanmar, California, South Carolina, and they've set up temporary kitchens in Ukraine, offering whatever nutritious meals are needed. As always, we receive your generosity with gratitude and appreciation of all that sustains us. Your gifts maintain the strength of this community and all it does within these walls, as well as the work we do together to make the world a better place. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Good morning. I'm Julia. Hi. I'm Julia Kenny. My pronouns are she, hers, and I'm a lay minister of this congregation. This is a time in our service that we set aside to acknowledge the joys and sorrows that we all hold. In both our sharing and in our witness, we affirm our covenant to care for one another. In these perilous and often frightening times, as we face the uncertainty of the road ahead in our country and our world, we light our vigil candle in solidarity with all those who are living in fear for the lives and safety of their loved ones or themselves. May the love which abides in our community offer hope, strength, and peace in the days to come. If you have a personal joy or sorrow you would like to share, please feel welcome to come forward now or raise your hand and I'll bring you the mic. Those online can type their joys and sorrows in the chat and I will read them. As Reverend Lisa lights one more candle, on behalf of those joys and sorrows that are left unspoken, let us hold each other in a circle of care and support with a moment of silence.
This morning we have a meditation on our connection to our beloved Mother, Parent, Earth. For this meditation, you can close your eyes if that's comfortable, or you could keep them open, gazing out at the rain and the sky and the trees. Begin now by taking some slow, deep breaths, just settling in. And now feel yourself connecting to the felt sense of your body posture and your breath. Just feel yourself sitting and feel your breath coming in and out. Next, bring your attention to each part of your body, inviting it to release tension and rest on the support of the earth. Find your feet on the floor, your hands on your lap or by your sides. Gently roll your shoulders back and let them settle. Next, we contemplate the stability and solidity of the earth and how this stability and solidity is in our own bodies, in our bones, our muscles, our tendons, our ligaments, how the earth's strength and creativity is also in us. And now we reflect on the earth's long journey, all the changes the earth has gone through, and the wisdom and trustworthiness that the earth has given. All that our earth has seen over the eons. And next, reflect on how that wisdom and trustworthiness is in us as well, because we are part of the earth. And now I invite you to open up to whatever you might hold in your heart and want to express to the earth. What might you want to share with the earth in this moment? It might be gratitude. It might be sorrow. It might be hope. Let's sit for a moment in silence with these thoughts.
Good morning. I'm Phil Giudice, and this is a poem by Mary Oliver, Sleeping in the Forest. I thought the earth remembered me. She took me back so tenderly, arranging her dark skirts, her pockets full of lichens and seeds. I slept as never before, a stone on the riverbed, nothing between me and the white fire of the stars. But my thoughts, and they floated light as moths among the branches of the perfect trees. All night, I heard the small kingdoms breathing around me, the insects, the birds, who do their work in the darkness. All night, I rose and fell, as if in water grappling with a luminous doom. By morning, I had vanished at least a dozen times into something better.
Thank you so much, Polly and choir, for all the beautiful nature-based music this morning. In Robin Wall Kimmerer's small but mighty book, there it is, The Serviceberry, Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World, she offers us the phrase, all flourishing is mutual. Kimmerer instructs us in the various forms of a gift economy, which have supported indigenous cultures and other communities all over the world, plant, animal, and human, for centuries, and continue to sustain all those who depend on them. An enrolled member of the Algonquin Potawatomi Nation, Kimmerer uses the example of the local fruit, the serviceberry or Juneberry, and the hundreds of its gift exchanges that lead to her pail full of berries. The maples who give their leaves to the soil, the countless invertebrates and microbes who exchange nutrients and energy to build the humus in which a serviceberry seed could take root, the cedar waxwing who drops the seed, the sun, the rain, the early spring flies who pollinate the flowers, the farmer who wields the shovel to tenderly settle the seedlings, they are all part of the gift exchange, she said, by which everyone gets what they need. The serviceberry is a model and a metaphor for a way to live both in harmony with each other and with nature. Renew an old, new way that can provide us with bodily sustaining, earth renewing, community building, and spiritual deepening benefits. Kimmerer speaks of the generosity and reciprocity of this plant cycle at a time when our world is badly in need of greater interdependence and collaboration, more ways to offer humans and the earth, in her words, mutual flourishing. During the past administration, many of us became more hopeful about our government's role in addressing the worldwide climate crisis as we rejoined the International Paris Climate Agreement, as federal subsidies and support for solar and wind power, electric vehicles, clean air and water initiatives, and more made significant advances. However, in recent weeks, we've had a powerful object lesson in how government can overturn decades of climate change wins with the stroke of a Sharpie. Many of us watched in horror and increasingly felt both hopeless and helpless as the EPA was gutted, fossil fuel production increased, NOAA was dismantled, and most recently, the administration moved to try to pull back $20 billion in climate grants already awarded to nonprofits. While this sinister effort to recall funds that have already been distributed may fail, it's just one of the many signals from our current leaders that they have no regard for the climate emergency or even acknowledgement that it exists, and no intention of putting any effort or resources toward addressing, much less funding, the many initiatives that could save our planet. This is more than a travesty. It is maddening, deeply heartbreaking, and life-threatening. But fortunately, for humanity and the earth, we have us. People like us, across the country, across the world, in nonprofits and community groups like our own Metro West Climate Solutions, are stepping up. In protests and court challenges, we're saying, this is our earth. These are our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors here and in the other countries, our beloved animals and forests, rivers, oceans, and conservation lands. We know that it's going to be up to us to advocate and preserve these precious resources and to inspire others to join us. And there are a lot of creative ways to do that. I read this week about hundreds of life-size animal puppets that have begun a 12,400-mile journey from Central Africa to the Arctic Circle as part of an ambitious project created by the team behind Little Amal, the giant puppet of a Syrian girl that traveled across the world to 17 countries since July 2021. This latest public art initiative is called The Herds, and it will travel to 20 cities over 4 months to raise awareness of the climate crisis. You might want to look up the photos of these animals after the service. They are quite amazing. There will be performances along the way, reaching thousands of people, encountering other artists' creations along the way. Migrating with an ever-evolving group of animals, they'll encourage communities to launch their own climate action events. Artists, as we've said before, are often at the forefront of any activist movement. And this is no exception, because they know how to move our hearts as well as our minds, inspiring us all to just do something. Generously offering their talents and time, they're inviting our reciprocity in taking action. Wall Kimmerer offers more lessons from the Serviceberry as she explores the many gift economies across the globe, from ancient times to the present. As opposed to our own consumer-based economy, a gift economy invites the gift and the giver into a reciprocal relationship with multiple shared benefits. Community and caring are built this way as people barter handcrafted goods, and whole cultures exist without paper currency. Imagine that. Sharing and trading food and goods as needed. Here in New England, some gardeners offer, even encourage, sharing their extra produce each harvest season. I've heard that in some Maine small towns, if you leave your car door unlocked, someone might put a pile of zucchini on your front seat. Maybe that even happens here, I don't know. There's also free cycling, swap shops, children's clothing and equipment exchanges, little free libraries and community gardens, any number of ways to build our own gift economies. My own adult children rarely buy new toys or equipment for their young ones, as there's such an active recycling shed at their local landfill. It actually seems to be a great source of entertainment for their generation, boasting about the finds in their communities and using parent networks to help each other locate resources. Even my own Lexington neighborhood has a thriving gift economy, with neighbors putting all manner of lightly used items on the street on trash day marked free. Sometimes we'll pick something up and then leave something out on our curb, all on the same day. The gifts just keep on paying it forward. These are some of the countless actions we can take to raise awareness, to reuse, reduce, and recycle, to lead by our own example. In 2015, I participated in a water conservation experiment for the 40 days of Lent with several other members of our First Parish in Lexington congregation. Over nearly 6 weeks, I paid attention to every single drop of water I used. It took some work. It meant taking much shorter showers, putting a basin in the sink for dishwashing or hand washing or toothbrushing, and then using that saved water to water plants or for other purposes. I combined my water use awareness with a meditation practice, where before I turned on the faucet, I would pause, take a breath, and remind myself to use as little as possible. The greatest outcome of this experiment for me and for others was simply the awareness of how much water we use in an average day, and how much could actually be saved and reused or simply not used at all. The pots and pans that could be swiped with a damp cloth rather than rinsed under a running faucet. The 5-minute shower that could actually get us perfectly clean. The clothes that could be reworn 1 or 2 more times before laundering, and on and on. Many of these lessons I've held on to, and some of them actually I only truly remembered as I was writing this, and I promised to reclaim them. So much of environmental protection begins with awareness, simply waking up to the waste that each of us produces unwittingly every day, and taking whatever steps we can to mitigate it. This past spring week, the magnolias bloomed to remind us that life is precious and it must be lived. Maria Popova tells us that when Western botanists encountered these ravishing flowering trees in the West Indies, they named them after French botanist Pierre Magnol, originator of the concept of plant families and the first person to devise a system of natural classification. Today, we know that there are hundreds of species, with the American evergreen species the most widely recognizable. Magnolias have been used in Chinese medicine as early as the year 650. Many formulas to treat disease are still in use. Migrating songbirds relish their bright seeds, nourished by their high fat content, even higher than avocados. Squirrels, raccoons, and possums savor them, and their leaves are a favorite food for the larvae of the giant leopard moth. Humans, too, have feasted on the magnolia in stews, broiled as a vegetable, or used to scent tea and flavor rice. Magnolias, says Popova, are the most existential of trees. Their week-long bloom and open-mouthed scream of exhilaration at the transient miracle of being alive. Blossoms on our magnolia ignite the morning with their murderous 5 days white, Robert Lowell wrote in a poem. But there's also kindness in its gentle reminder not to squander a moment of living. In 5 days, a whole life can spin on its axis. There are many spiritual benefits to caring for the earth, and this week we lost a great spiritual leader and advocate for protecting the earth in Pope Francis. His message of deep love for those communities most endangered by the climate crisis, migrants, the poor, indigenous people, disenfranchised, was evident from the beginning of his papacy. In 2015, Pope Francis offered the first encyclical to look at the relationship between humans and the natural world, and to link this relationship as a matter of faith. Francis discussed what it meant to be a protector, saying, "It means respecting each of God's creatures and respecting the environment in which we live." And he made the claim that climate change mitigation is consistent with socially conservative values and with Catholic values. Some of our leaders still need that reminder. The Pope reserved his most severe criticism for the wealthier sectors of society, where he said the habit of wasting and discarding has reached unprecedented levels. Like Pope Francis, we UUs embrace this view of climate change as a spiritual crisis, as well as an environmental one. First, among our newly stated UU values is interdependence. UUs recognize the interconnectedness of all life and our role within this web of existence. Reverend Barbara Brown Taylor offers this beautiful introduction to eco-spirituality. All you have to do is step through a door, walk out from under a roof, climb out of a car, look up from a phone, and there it is, the most real thing in your life. Whether you live in the desert form of it, the mountain form, the coastal form, or the flyover form, there is more sky above you and more earth below you than the mind has room to fathom. There are all kinds of reasons why you treat them like scenery most days. You're busy, you're tired, there's dinner to cook, and so much email to answer. Yet the patient earth waits for you. And when you're ready, there it is, with real sap, real shine, real scent, real bird song. What else, with the possible exception of love, can make us feel so alive and so fragile all at the same time? The difference is that most human loves aren't infinite, while the earth might be. It's as close as we can come to something we can see, hear, taste, smell, and touch, that existed billions of years before we got here and is set to last billions more after we're gone. But don't think too hard about that, she says, or it will give you an awful headache. The point is, for those whose faith in the future may have dimmed, or whose willingness to wait for miracles has worn thin, there is a portal right here on earth that opens every single day with a little breeze of solace coming through, a little slant of light shining on some beauty you might otherwise have missed. This doesn't change anything necessarily. All it does is pick you up in its arms for a moment and set you down softer, with more room inside you for whatever comes next. My friends, May you this week and every week find moments of solace in the beauty of the world around us. And may those moments inspire you, inspire all of us to recommit, to care for our precious living earth as she so faithfully cares for us. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. And now, I invite you to rise as you are willing and or able, and join in singing hymn number 64, the gray hymnal, "Oh, Give Us Pleasure in the Flowers Today." This pretty planet spinning in space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around. All through the night, safe to the morning light. Dear friends, take all that we have shared here today out into the world. Be a blessing to all those you meet, and may you yourselves be blessed. Amen.